One of the questions we get the most often about multi-gen living, the money. How do you split things? Who pays for what? What happens when you disagree? And honestly, this is one of the biggest potential stumbling blocks if you don't get on the same page pretty early on. So, finances are personal, right? Everyone comes into it with their own money story, their lifelong beliefs, different priorities, which means that there are a lot of different ways to set up finances and that no one way is the right way, right? Maybe your family opts for shared bank accounts. Maybe you opt for keeping things separate but more structured. Maybe you want one person or one family to handle the finances for everybody. There's no right way, but the key is figuring out what works for your family, factoring in each person who's going to be playing a role. So, talking about our setup, we are all very financially savvy. We are all very organized. So we knew going in that we don't want to overcomplicate our system here. We also know that as much as we value transparency and clear communication, that these kinds of conversations can trip us up sometimes. So we didn't want to be having the money talks every time we turn around. So what we've done is opted against shared bank accounts. Instead, we divided the bills and we track everything in an app called Splitwise. And I'm sure that there are a lot of different apps that do the same thing, but here's how it works for us. When someone pays something, they immediately log it into Splitwise. All 4 adults have access to the same app, and you're notified when an expense is added. So if you have any question or any concern, then you have a conversation in live time. You tell the app how to split your expenses. So for us, things that are mutually used property type expenses are divided down the middle, 50-50. For things that are more usage-based, say power, water, those we decided to split based on the percentage for square footage. For example, I don't want my parents paying more for our larger space and the extra person that lives with us, my daughter. So it makes more sense to divide by square footage. And then we have all of those random expenses for things like projects, renovations, repairs. Those are dropped in there too. And we assess, what percentage we want for those if it's not obvious. So you can set those percentages right there per line item in the app. Makes it super easy. Then at the end of a quarter, we have a reminder set to settle up. So you just go in, Splitwise has totaled up everyone who's paid what, and you can see who owes who. And we just take care of that. We wipe the slate clean and we start logging again for the next quarter. It keeps things super simple and easy. And for us, that gives us the confidence and the comfort level that we want. Now, even with a great system, there's going to be disagreements, right? Because we're all human beings. And what happens when someone wants to have an expense that the rest may not? Someone wants to replace a shared deck and the other ones are like, that's not in our budget right now. Those kind of things, that's when the conversations come in, right? For us, anything that goes beyond the norm, we have a quick little informal family meeting to talk about things like budget, timeline, any concerns, and we make decisions before any money is spent or any decision has firmly been made. So the goal for us is not to avoid conversations. It's to keep things simple on the day-to-day. Finances in multi-gen living isn't about finding a perfect formula. It's about what can you do to make sure that everyone in the group feels as comfortable and confident as they can as you go. Meaning what you set up today may not still be your system a year from now, 5 years from now. So being willing to revisit that with the priority of keeping folks feeling good. That's what's going to keep it from being stressful down the road. So if this is helpful or you love this, please don't forget to like and share and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. And if you're living multi-gen, I would love to know what system you have in place around your finances if you would share it in the comments.